The battle for Bourbon and a barrel resumes tonight as the two newest teams in USL League One, Lexington Sporting Club and One Knoxville SC, face off for the second time this season. A game brought to you by UK Healthcare. My name is Ross Davenport. Thanks for joining me this evening for this Whiskey War. Battle between that Lexington team, as you see down there in 11th, just ahead of Central Valley Fuego on goal difference. Meanwhile, Knoxville have been moving quietly up the standings now. A win tonight could move them into second place above the Independents. We'll talk about that in a second. As you mentioned, the home team, Lexington, they come in 11th, tied on points with Fuego, but they've won 2 of their 4 home games this season. And against no slouches in defending champs Tormentor, as well as Charlotte, who are off to a very solid start this season. The defense has been very solid at Toyota Stadium, 2 clean sheets. Only 3 goals allowed in 4 games, and Jamaican goalkeeper Amal Knight, he's been a big part of that with some spectacular saves, including a penalty stop coming up here in the win over the Independents. As for the visitors, it's a second straight start for big Norwegian Sebastian Andreasen. They had this spectacular game-winning goal last week at Greenville. He's one of the few holdovers from last year's League Two squad. Scored plenty in the amateur ranks for Coach Mark McKeever on a number of teams. He's got all the physical tools and the work rate. Bring a little more mental focus. He didn't need it for that goal. So we're minutes away from kickoff here between these two rivals. 2.5 hours apart on I-75. Stick around. We're right back with starting lineups and the kickoff here from Georgetown, Kentucky.
Lexington is the Kentuckiest place in the world. Just look at it. It's by far the bluegrassiest, the bourbonist. See? The artsiest, and hands down, the horsiest. Oh, look, that one has a baby. I don't know why you would look anywhere else. Looking for the coolest, most Kentuckiest getaway? Look at Lexington.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or get up.
Perfect.
Who's not a runner now?
You don't have to be an elite athlete to be treated like one. UK Healthcare, orthopedic surgery, and sports medicine. The power of advanced medicine.
Welcome back to the Bluegrass State as we get ready for this tilt between Lexington and Knoxville. As you see the new kits there for Lexington, we'll get to those in a little bit. Now these two teams met back in week 1 on March 18th, with Knoxville coming away with a 2-1 victory. That means with a win tonight, they would secure the whiskey barrel on the bourbon, as these teams only meet one more time after tonight's contest. Both coaches said their teams are playing a lot better than they did that day, obviously the first game in both franchises' history. Penalty for Jimmy Villalobos was cancelled out by a Don Smart spot kick for Lexington before Jake Keegan, the team's leading scorer, popped up for Knoxville's winner in only the 40th minute. Let's take a look at your lineups for this one. First, for Sam Stockley's Lexington, Tariq Mohammed on the bench tonight. Do not expect to see him. Sam Stockley says he's got a bit of an ankle injury. Jalen James replaces him in the lineup, while Tate Robertson moves from his usual right midfield spot to the left back position. A very flexible guy for Stockley. As for the visitors, coached by Mark McKeever, 2 changes for them. Sean O'Hearn comes in for Derek Waldeck has had a very impressive start to the season. He's out for personal reasons. And Jan-Erik Linos, he gets his first League One start of the season. He did feature in the US Open Cup. At right back, Sebastian Andreasen, as we mentioned, gets his second straight start of the season up top after that spectacular game winner against the Triumph last weekend. Almost ready to go here at Toyota Stadium, as you see those beautiful Spark kits, the new third kit for Lexington. You might need sunglasses out there even at 7 p.m. They're so bright. Let's take a look at the injury report brought to you by UK Healthcare. None reported for Lexington. As for Knoxville, Thomas is still out with that wrist injury. Illich with the groin. Fernandez with the hamstring. Kyle McDowell is also out. He had a chance today to perhaps play at that left back spot for Tariq Mohammed, but he is injured himself. Our referee tonight, Servando Berna in the red. Meanwhile, Knoxville in all navy, going from left to right on your screen. And we're underway from Georgetown. See how these teams set up tonight. Knoxville normally 3 at the back. Mark McKeever's system is so flexible. We'll see them playing with 4 and 5 at times, depending on the score. Do love to press, as you see the early pressure here by Andreasen. Mentioned the Spark kits for Lexington. Knoxville is supposed to be revealing a new kit next month, their third kit on June 17th. Drew McKenna, the founder, may have let slip a little bit on a podcast earlier this month about that kit. They were talking about the famous Tennessee marble, a little pink, a little gray. We'll see if they go with some of that in their third kit, as this ball goes all the way back to Knoxville goalkeeper Sean Lewis, the man from Rockford, Michigan. 80 USL Championship appearances under his belt, so plenty of pro experience between the pipes for Knoxville. Normally with the wing-back system, Mark McKeever, as we mentioned, but with no Derek Waldeck tonight on the left side. We mentioned Thomas also out, James Thomas, that is, one of the holdovers from their League Two days. Mark McKeever said Thomas's wrist is progressing, but it's still a little too sore. Obviously, we may see him soon with perhaps a brace on it. Cesar Maria, two-time USL League One champion. Lexington knocking it about nicely here, trying to find some openings in this stout Knoxville defense, which limited Greenville last week. Knoxville only had 2 shots on goal himself, but they both went in. McKeever said, it's the old soccer adage, right? If you're winning games and not playing well, you're doing something right. They only had 37.7% possession in that game last weekend. Knoxville, normally a team that loves to have the ball 55-60%. He said they had to go a little more defensively on the road, try and go direct and pick their spots, and they did. 2 set-piece goals. Here is former Greenville man Nico Brown streaking down the right side. This one comes off the foot of Kalen Brown. It will be a corner. First corner of the evening presented by UK Healthcare. Lots of coaches this year have really expressed to us, media members, the importance of set pieces in this league. So many goals this year seem to have come off corners and free kicks. Charlie Machel makes his way into the box. He left last week's game with a head injury, but good to go tonight. No concussion, said Sam Stockley. Good delivery front post. And away by Kelly. Knoxville trying to escape out of here, and here they come with Keegan now with perhaps a chance to break. Keegan being chased back by Jalen James. Keegan will earn himself a free kick. Jake Keegan, the leading scorer for this Knoxville team with 4 goals. 2 of them have come on penalties. He's the only player with multiple goals on this Knoxville side. And Khalid Balogun, the only player with multiple goals for Lexington. Both teams have struggled to score at times. Sam Stockley said Really just looking for consistency from his teams. They've had some good performances, but they've been mixed in with some poor ones. Both teams have struggled to score at times. Well, Knoxville seem to have started to get things going. But again, only 2 shots on goal last weekend in Greenville. Down the left wing is Tate Robertson. Look to get forward, normally a midfielder, capable of playing left or right, defense and the midfield. This ball chipped ahead, looking for the lanky figure of Andreasen. He's onside. Some clear shove there by Owen Green. That's going to result in a dangerous set-piece chance here for the visitors. In their home blue tonight. Andreasen listed at 6'5". I mentioned this is the 4th team he's played for, if you consider One Knoxville last year as a separate team. He played for Mark McKeever at Young Harris, as well as with the Des Moines Menace, who won the League Two championship a couple of years ago. Certainly be the target here on this free kick delivery. Yes, and Van der Plow making his way into the box as well. There's the delivery. It's a decent one. Nobody there from Knoxville, though. Headed away by Murillo. And as far as Kalen Fox, he can score from his from his center back position. He's got a couple of goals in his League One career. Select, the official match ball supplier of USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Cross in there from Linehouse. That's a foul there, and that's going to be our first yellow card of the evening. And it's going to go to Jessin Van der Ploum, excuse me. It's his 5th yellow card of the season. Stop in the transition there. Yeah, that was just clumsy. It was a good foul, though. Well, they did have help behind him from Jimmy Villalobos. It's maybe a little unnecessary, especially at this point in the game, from the number 6 for Mark McKeever. Jessin Van der Ploum. Former Feyenoord youth, also played at Young Harris for Mark McKeever. This ball is swung over, won't be kept in play. A loose pass there. Cesar Murillo. Lexington come into this one having lost 3 of their last 4, although we mentioned their good home form, 2 wins, a draw, and a loss here. 5 of their first games were on the road. This is the first of 3 of 4 at home for Lexington. And they scored 7 goals, though. Second fewest in League One. It's a turnover there, almost. It's a good step by Pila Delamini. Man from South Africa. No early chances so far in this one. We'll keep you abreast, obviously, of all the other games going on in League One tonight. 5 total games in action tonight. Northern Colorado Fuego was supposed to start at 6 Eastern, but there's a weather delay in Colorado. Northern Colorado will have to wait more minutes to open their brand new facility. Talk a little bit more about that at halftime. Stick around during the break for that. So we've got Charlotte and Chattanooga underway in the Queen City. Andreasen with a good touch. Knocks it wide to Villalobos. Keegan on the overlap. Will he get there? Yes, he will. It just pulls it right back to Kalen Fox. Lexington will now come to look to come away with it. Kelly. Another man with a few too many yellow cards on his resume this season. Could be one of the only candidates for suspension. 8 yellow cards. Results in a suspension here in League One, although you do get one taken away if you go 5 games without one. Good interchange play here by Knoxville. That ball slipped through, looking for Callum Johnson with the left foot. He's right across the face of Sean Lewis's goal. Excuse me, Amal Light's goal. Callum Johnson scored a couple of weeks ago, his first goal of the season. That one really never had a chance to find that far corner. Amal Knight wanted to make sure. Callum Johnson, the man from England, scored the opener, as I mentioned, in that win over Chattanooga. Won the 21 College Cup with Clemson. Played there alongside Quinn McNeil, former Charlotte Independence player. Long ball here. It's a little clumsy there from Sean Lewis. He's under pressure from Tate Robertson. Once again, getting super far forward from that left fullback spot. See if Mark McKeever keeps an eye on that and can try and take advantage on the transition. Andreasen Cesar Maria climbing all over him, earns the foul. Knoxville came in, they only won one of their first 4 games this season. Got off to a bit of a slow start in their inaugural League One campaign. But they've now only lost one of their last 5, 3-1-1 over that span. This is the first of 4 of their next 6 on the road, and there's some tough road matches in there at NOCO, at Omaha, and at Richmond. And their 2 home games are against NCFC and Charlotte, 2 of the top 3 teams in the league. So tough patch here for Knoxville, though every coach tells us there's no easy games in this league anymore. Mark McKeever was saying the next game is the toughest game, and then the next game after that is the toughest game. So much parity in this league over the last couple of seasons. Coaching has a big impact in this league, and we have so many great coaches from top to bottom. Kelly, Villalobos, out wide to Keegan. Onto his right foot, here's the strike blocked by his former Greenville teammate Nico Brown. One rolls out for a throw. Jake Keegan loves to work in that left channel. He can get wide too. He played on the wing plenty for John Harkes with Greenville. Also played 10, 9. Certainly not a true center forward like Andreasen. He loves to play off a 9. He had a lot of his success in Greenville, as well as Madison. There's Keegan now. Knoxville will look to reset. Saw in the pregame, these 2 teams met on that opening weekend. Knoxville came away with the 2-1 victory. Both coaches, as I mentioned, said their teams are completely different back then. It was a very sloppy game. It certainly looked like the first proper game for 2 brand new teams. The cliche that you want to improve every game. Mark McKeever is all about that. And his team's really proven that this year after a little bit of a slow start. We've definitely improved over these last few weeks, all the way up to top 3 now in the table. Let's see where they are after this one. Kickers play later against Tormenta. They're right behind them, 2 points behind. Tormenta 3 points behind Knoxville coming into this one. And they have finally kicked off in Windsor, Colorado. So congratulations to NOCO getting their home campaign underway finally after so many weeks on the road. Here comes Linos. It's a good toe in there by Mitchell. This game's getting physical now. Good shield break there by Jalen James. Nico Brown. He already has a goal to his name this season. Hearing Charlotte have taken an early lead against the Red Wolves. Give you the goal scorer there in a minute. Brown cutting in from that right side. Found Mitchell. Oh, lovely little touch. So off to Jalen James. The shot, unfortunately, was right at Sean Lewis. That's the first real chance in this one. Lovely little touch by So Kim. Right through the legs of Jordan Skelton. Unfortunately, Jalen James couldn't make Sean Lewis work a little harder. But that was a lovely bit of play there from Lexington, showing their danger up top. So Kim getting a third straight start here. Here's Keegan going up against Murillo. And that one comes off the former North Texas and Greenville man for a corner presented by UK Healthcare. Nearly 16 minutes into this one. No goals between Lexington and Knoxville. My name's Ross Davenport. Thanks for joining us this evening. Sean O'Hearn will take this one. Did most of his work down the right-hand side earlier this season as a wing-back. Flexible enough here to start on the right. Missed last week. Will deliver this one in, right-footed. Towards the penalty spot. Fox is there, battling with Mitchell. This one will roll all the way out for a Lexington throw. Mitchell, the captain tonight for the home team. Jordan Skelton, two Englishmen captaining the sides tonight. The only two Englishmen in the lineups. We have Corey Hart on the bench tonight for Knoxville, one of their academy products. Great to see him getting a chance tonight with those injuries to Mark McKeever's team. Ilya Illich, that's a big one. The assistant coach is not sure what's going on here. What are you going to say? Well, Knight's upset about something. He's going over to talk to the assistant referee. Let's take a look at what happened here. It was a throw-in for Lexington. He headed it back to the keeper. Nothing wrong with that. Obviously, if Amal Knight had picked up the throw-in, it would have been a different story, but it was clearly headed by Kalen Fox, so we're going to have a bit of a conference between the officials. We could perhaps have an indirect free kick here for Knoxville. Just a yard inside the penalty area as a result of that header back from Kalen Fox off the throw-in. Amal Knight's not going to win this battle. There's no doubt about that. Charlie Mitchell still having not an expert on the back pass rule by any means. But to me, and obviously, the Lexington players are either not experts or wrong in their opinion on that decision by referee Berna. So it is an indirect free kick here. Just 1 yard inside the Lexington penalty box. We've got Keegan there, Villalobos, Andreasen, as well as Callum Johnson. So this ball has to be touched first before it can be struck on goal. It doesn't have to be touched by a Knoxville player. It can deflect off a Lexington player too and go in the net. Jay Keegan's complaining of the wall and the approach which they had. Keegan lays it off. The strike is well wide by Callum Johnson. So after all that, I'll have to brush up on my pass-back rules from throw-ins, but it was clearly headed. In the end, nothing came of it. Callum Johnson snatched at that one from 20 yards. Apparently Kalen Fox with a yellow card for the header back pass to Amal Knight. Just coming up to 21 minutes gone, and this one's still no score. Best chance of the game, certainly for Lexington. Callum Johnson with a half chance there off that strange indirect free kick. There's a good little bit of interplay now. Robertson lays it back for Dlamini. His ball seeking Owen Green is just too far. It would be a goal kick. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023, whether your club's on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN Plus, the home to the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. The Bundesliga finale today, how exciting was that? Came down to the last few minutes between Dortmund and Bayern Munich. Munich winning the league in the end and then firing a couple of ranking officials in their organization. 2-0 Independence now. Joel Johnson scored the first. The second goal scorer there. 21 minutes in there. That's a foul. Throw in here for Lexington when we're doing that. Shout out to the One Knoxville supporters group. The Scruffs watching tonight at Yeehaw Brewing in Knoxville. I assume a few traveled up for this one as well. A lot of teams within a few hours of each other here in the south. I do see some Knoxville fans there in the background waving their crest flag. See a holiday weekend. Good reason to get away. Knoxville fans chanting as well. 3 shots for the visitors so far, only 1 for Lexington. Lexington with the only shot on target. Fixing his shoe there, Angelo Kelly. Looking for Jake Keegan. Intercepted there by Robertson. Andreasen spins it out wide to Linus. That's a decent cross in, and Mile Knight was there. He let it go wisely in the end. 50-50 decision at best. Wasn't sure who was behind him. Hopefully his defender was letting him know. Throw in here for Knoxville midway inside the Lexington half. Talked to Sam Stockley about that 2-1 loss to Richmond that Lexington had last weekend. He said Richmond, quality side, great manager. We had important moments. You got to take the chances. So they started out real well, kind of lost possession and control of it in the last 15 minutes of that first half. So they've done the work on their wide stuff. Their wide players got pinned back a little bit in that one by Richmond. And we have another whistle. So they didn't quite keep the intensity at City Stadium. Coming off that great result against Charlie, just really hoping for a little more consistency in their results. Obviously still only a quarter of the way through this season, plenty of time for that consistency to come for Sam Stockley. He's a great guy to talk to tactic-wise on the phone. There's referee Berner dealing with an issue here on the edge of the box. Launched towards the box by Van der Pla. And away Andreasen with that back heel flick again. We saw that last weekend from 6 yards out into the back of the net as Callum Johnson shanks one just wide. Knoxville with the edge in possession so far, 59.8. Dlamini. Started every game in the center of midfield so far for Sam Stockley. Pila Dlamini. Long ball here. Looking for Tate Robertson. Linus comes over. Quick throw. Bit of possession here for Lexington. Ates Diouf, we haven't called his name much tonight. It's a poor pass from him, the man from Senegal. A few starts last season for San Antonio. Omar Sis with the second goal for Charlotte as they lead 2-0 at home against Chattanooga. Keegan gives it away. Mitchell picks his pocket. There's a rule in soccer about unsporting behavior rule when the ball is in play to pass your ball to your own goalkeeper in order to circumvent the law. So that's probably why that yellow card was given. It wasn't like he was chasing the ball back and hitting it to him. It was clearly it was designed to be a head back to the goalie after the throw-in, but the law is if a player uses a deliberate trick while the ball is in play to pass the ball to his own goalkeeper with his head, chest, knee, etc. in order to circumvent the law. We started with an indirect free kick and obviously the yellow card for unsporting behavior. Obviously, a judgment call, which the Lexington players disagreed with, didn't cost them in the end, as long as Kalen Fox doesn't get another yellow. He had a red card earlier this season, Kalen Fox, that was rescinded. Anyway, back to the fun stuff here now. Lexington with a free kick on the far side. It's ball delivered with pace, just not enough height though. Handed away by Linehouse. He's had a busy first half, the German at right back. Picking up some key moments so far in his first League One start. That ball is out of play. The linesman didn't put his flag up. Cagey first half out here in Georgetown. Two well-matched teams. It's a lovely ball for Linehouse. Take on Jalen James. Tries to get it back. Saved by Andreasen. There's a ball over the top, and it's the delightful one. Callum Johnson with a slick back heel. Fox is there, though, to clear it away. He's looking for Andreasen. Gives him a clap for that cheeky back heel. Knoxville looking to go a little more direct here. Trying to unlock this Lexington back line. Well, that's off the top of the crossbar. Amal Knight wanted the goal kick. He didn't get it. Keegan's there. Callum Johnson cleared off the line. Back to Andreasen. Blocked again. Well, Amal Knight's been playing so well, but that was a moment of complete madness there. I don't think he's claiming it hit the football goalpost, but I don't think it did. Unless my eyes were deceiving me. Let's take another look at it here. No, it definitely hit his own crossbar. Amal Knight was completely deceived and it almost cost him a goal. He had his buddy Kalen Fox to thank for the clearance, and the big block there by Delamini. Wow, Amal Knight, who's player of the week recently, has certainly been one of the best goalkeepers to start the season, but that was almost a very costly mistake by the Jamaican. Ball was by Angelo Kelly, and it was sort of drifting over Amal Knight's head, and he was being very casual, as if it was going to go over the bar, and flipped the crossbar and came back into play. Well, we certainly had some interesting moments in this first half, both involving Amal Knight. No goals yet. It's a mistake there. So Kim trying to get on the end of that shanked Jalen Chrysler clearance attempt. A chance now perhaps here for Lexington to get it into the mixer. That's a lovely throw in. Hooked back. Well, the flag is up. Did it go out first for a goal kick? Yes, it did. That was before it could be hooked back in by Nico Brown. The USL and ESPN continues as the summer heats up. Memphis 901 FC, former League One star Aaron Malloy, head to the Valley of the Sun to face Manuel Artiega and Phoenix Rising FC. It's Phoenix Rising and Memphis 901, Saturday, July 1st at 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Saw Phoenix with a disappointing home loss last night to Las Vegas. Meanwhile, we have our first ever goal at the Future Legends complex in Windsor, Colorado. NOCO have taken a 1-0 lead over Fuego. Halfway through the first half there. Good work there by Jalen James. All sorts of buddies flying around. Andreasen's on the ground. James is on the ground. The referee Burner has heard enough from Sam Stockley. Sam with the ironic thumbs up. There's another look at it here. Jalen James, nothing there. I mean, no foul at all. Sam Stockley wasn't happy with it though. He had a good view of it. James tried to split the Knoxville players, but the ball was already away. Battle there between Kim and Kelly. So there's two sisters going at it, Kim and Kelly. We've got some referee Bono's going to make Tate Robertson take it from the correct spot. Thinks about passing it back to Mark Knight. Well, just make sure it's not in the air and don't head it back to him. Just joining as we had an interesting indirect free kick earlier against Lexington for a headed ball back after a throw-in. Which I think we figured out what happened. The referee did make the right call, I think. Attempting to circumvent the back pass route. Jordan Skelton goes all the way back to Sean Lewis. Just the one save tonight, and it was an easy one. Right at him. A lovely touch from So Kim. Into the shot by Jalen James. This was shipped ahead, looking for Andreasen. Battling nicely with Owen Green, and it is going to be the big Norwegian call for the foul. Turns 26 on Monday, does Seabass Andreasen. Early happy birthday to him. Just the one shot on target so far in the first 35 plus minutes here in Georgetown. Good crowd in attendance as expected. Mark McKeever was saying he knew the crowd would be up for it tonight. The emotion would have an impact in this game. Going back to Andreasen, and if you saw after he scored the goal, he had his head in his hands. You could tell what that first professional goal meant to him. Mark McKeever said really he has the work ethic and the frame. He's just got to think a little harder about the battles, beat center backs to spot, work on that first, second, and third phase of set pieces. Being at the right place at the right time isn't an accident. The best strikers in the world mean to be where they are. Nico Brown taking on Jimmy Villalobos. Also taken on Sean O'Hearn. Was eventually cleared away. Now a chance perhaps for Knoxville to break. Kelly surrounded by three players in Spark Green. Knoxville going long one again. That's a lovely touch by Keegan. Andreasen will just about keep this one in. Time and space to perhaps get a good cross in. He did get the cross in, but it wasn't a good one. Jalen Chrysler doing the Dikembe Mutombo. Referee agrees with the no call. Seen how important good centre backs can be in League One, and Knoxville certainly have one of the best pairings with Chrysler and Skelton. We're going to have a foul here on Jessen Vendeplau, who already has a yellow card. Let's have another look at it here. Well, it was an interesting one. You've got there first. I think Vandeplau just a little clumsily. Steve makes his way back to his feet. Nice warm round of applause from the home crowd. Jackson Dietrich with the goal for NOCO. First true home goal, we'll say, in NOCO history. Central Valley Fuego continue to struggle. Only 5 goals on the season. Seven points. Martin Vasquez has some work to do out there in Fresno. Linehouse with a good turn. Knoxville Played some pretty football here at times in this first half, but haven't been able to get anything from the end of it. Here's a chance now. Callum Johnson with the outside of his right foot, blocked by Murillo. Linehouse with the acrobatic kick, the scissor kick almost. Keegan appeals for offside, but no call. Andreasen was there, but bounces away. Now a chance for Lexington to break with Jalen James. Hands went up for the offside call on Jake Keegan, but the flag didn't. A chance there for Knoxville. Still no saves from all night, though. Nico Brown. Flicks inside. Diouf with the shot, blocked by Chrysler. Comes back to Diouf. Murillo. Robertson now. Go all the way back to Kalen Fox. And after all that good build-up, just given away cheaply. So Kalen Fox with the yellow as well as Jessen van der Plant. Under 5 minutes remaining here in this first half. Ross Davenport here with you. Don't forget to stick around at halftime for all the halftime stats, highlights, news and notes from around League One and more. If you feel so inclined, you can obviously flick over and watch Northern Colorado against Fuego, the other, or Tormenta Kickers, which is 10 minutes in there. Knoxville on the break now. Linehouse getting forward again from that fullback spot. All four fullbacks in this game. Getting forward nicely, including this one, Tate Robertson. Good work back there, though, by Kelly. Robertson still with it. Padding their passing stats, these two. That's a quality one there. Diouf with a lovely touch and turn. Spins it wide. Owen Green. Brown now. This cross not the best. Doesn't beat the first man in Chrysler. Headed out for a throw-in. In front of the Knoxville fans in attendance, at least on that side. Looking for help. Nice little 1-2 with Machel. Heavy touch by Dlamini, but he gets away with it. Jalen James now. Out wide to Robertson. Turns to his right foot. Gets a decent cross in. Far post is there, and it's 1-0. Nico Brown snuck behind the defenders and nods it in. Tate Robertson with a beautiful assist. His teammates telling him that. And Lexington have a late here in the first half. Robertson wanted it on the right foot, and he got it. And what a beautiful shot it was. Cross, excuse me. There was two Lexington players back there and only one Knoxville defender. Nico Brown, as you hear, his second goal of the year. Gives his team a big goal at a very important time, right before the break. That will likely change Mark McKeever's halftime chat. Meanwhile, it is 2-0 Northern Colorado out west. Will Knoxville be able to respond here before the half, as there's another back header. That one was certainly in the spirit of the game. As we get a look at Amal Knight, the 29-year-old from Jamaica, 12 caps for the Reggae Boys. He's on the bench for the Nations League draw with Mexico back in March. Hasn't had to do much tonight, though. No saves in this first half. Knoxville do have 6 shots, but none of them on target. Flamini clipped by Callum Johnson. And a free kick here as we enter the final minute of the 45 in this first half from Georgetown. A Nico Brown header, the difference in this one. A 43rd minute goal. The assist from Tate Robertson. His 3rd assist of the season. Sliding tackle there by Mitchell. Diouf with a chance to break. Let's get Robertson again here on the left. Might be a fullback, but he's playing like that midfielder he's used to playing. Good tackle there, though, by Van der Plout. Cleared away for Andreasen. Here we will have 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this one. Obviously, there was a bit of a discussion. It took some time after that pass back header. And there is the confirmation of the 4 minutes additional.
Ladies and gentlemen, the officials on the field have added 4 minutes of extra time. Extra time will be kept by the officials on the field and will not be reflected on the scoreboard. 4 minutes of extra time.
Lexington just looking to take this one to the break. Knoxville do have one win when giving up the first goal this season. Lexington, 2 wins, no draws, 2 losses when scoring the first goal in games this season. 45 minutes here, So-So Kim. He's had a quiet first half. That's a lovely bit of play there, though. Oh, Nate So-So. He's very skillful. South Korean man by way of Kansas. Played his college ball at Duke. Made his MLS Reserve League debut at only 16, did So-So Kim. Flamini. Go all the way back to him all night. Knoxville a little short-handed coming into this one. Thus why Academy product Corey Hart is on the bench. So Mark McKeever with not a ton of offensive options at his disposal on the bench. Yahinga Selemani as well as Frank Ross now healthy again. Along with Matthew Vowinkle. He's got an assist already this season, former MLS Super Draft pick. Billy King with the second goal for Hailstorm in their 2-0 lead over Fuego at the moment. As Lexington would love this first half to come to a quiet close. Mentioned no Ilya Ilic, no Danny Fernandez, no James Thomas, no Derek Waldeck. There's Jalen James, though, for the home team, looking to perhaps double the lead before the half. This one spray across field. Robertson keeps it in. He's had a great first half. Has Tate Robertson. Chance here though. Callum Johnson. Keegan on the right now. Oh, it's a lovely ball through to Johnson, but there's Kalen Fox to the rescue. Put that one out of play. It's halftime in Charlotte. 2-0 Independence there. We're nearly at the half here. Kalen Fox, the man who went to the University of Kentucky. Louisville native, played some youth soccer in Lexington back in the day. Only a couple of seconds remaining here in the 4 minutes of stoppage time. Maybe one last chance here though. Kelly, he's gonna have a crack with his left foot. Yes, he will. But onto the berm and out of play And that will do it for the first half here. From Georgetown, Kentucky. His second goal of the season, that man there, Nico Brown, gives the home team a 1-0 lead at the break here over One Knoxville. Stick with us, we'll be right back with stats, highlights, and more during the halftime break here. Your score at the half, Lexington 1, Knoxville 0.
Lexington is the Kentuckiest place in the world. Just look at it. It's by far the bluegrassiest, the bourbonist. See? The artsiest, and hands down, the horsiest. Oh, look, that one has a baby. I don't know why you would look anywhere else. Looking for the coolest, most Kentuckiest getaway? Look at Lexington.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or get up?
Perfect.
Who's not a runner now?
You don't have to be an elite athlete to be treated like one. UK Healthcare, orthopedic surgery, and sports medicine. The power of advanced medicine.
Welcome back to Kentucky, where Lexington have a 1-0 lead over Knoxville at the break. Now, if you fancy, you can digitally, quote, change the channel during our halftime segment here and catch the first ever home game for Northern Colorado at their brand new home at the Future Legends Complex. I think it was a good time to look at some league venue fun stats. League One venue facts brought to you by Mark Schoenster.
Complex, it got us thinking about home here at USL League One, and more particular, home venues. Starting with all across the league, we've had clubs have different homes throughout their time in USL League One. Of course, the Hailstorm now on to home field number 4, but I think they're going to be lodged into that 4th spot for quite a long time now. Meanwhile, Toronto FC 2, for those of you who remember from 2021, played at 3 different home venues in one season. And not only were they different home venues, they were in entirely different parts of the continent. Arizona, Florida, and then, of course, back home in Toronto at BMO Training Ground. Also worth mentioning, Madison, one of the many of the 6 clubs that have been at 2 parts. They played at Hart Park in Wauwatosa in 2020 when they couldn't play at Breese Stevens Field, which puts them behind Richmond at City Stadium when it comes to most games at a single venue. City Stadium leading the way in that regard, and they're going to lead the pack for quite a while. I don't see Richmond going anywhere else. Interesting note, the other 3 teams that are on this list, or at least the venues they played at, are no longer in use in USL League One. Keno North Stadium is still being used, but it's in USL League Two now with FC Tucson. Legacy Early College not in use anymore, Greenville going to Paladin Stadium. And then, of course, Tormenta leaving Irk Russell Park for their shiny new venue halfway through last year, or more like 3/4 of the way through last season, just in time for them to host a League One title game. When it comes to win percentage, though, Werner Park shouldn't come too much of a surprise for USL League One fans who have been watching for the past few years. The different dimensions of that park, with how narrow it is, the way the pitch is. Union Omaha plays there more often than everyone else, and thus are more used to the way that pitch works, how it plays, what are the best tactics to use to find points, to find victories. Omaha has been so good at getting draws when they should be losing, getting wins when it could be a draw, because they just know how to play their game at Werner Park. Also worth noting, these are the only 4 clubs with above a 60% win percentage at these respective venues. And of course that counts draws as 0.5 when it comes to win percentage at that point in time. So when it comes to home and field advantage, these are the place to go, and there's really not much separating anybody else from joining into that pack. When it comes to scoring at home, I think it's pretty standard that Emiliano Terzaghi would be at the top of this list with how many goals he has bagged throughout his time in USL League One. Surely he scored a ton of them in front of his home venue at City Stadium. Juan Galindra is on that list at CHI Memorial Stadium. And then that championship run year for Union Omaha, Evan Conway and Greg Hurst both going on a tear that season. As a whole, of course, a lot of those goals going to be coming at Werner Park. And then last but not least, though, there are some venues that may be circling names and saying we're not allowing this guy to come back. Azad Liadi with a hat trick in that wild 4-4 game in 2021 with Tormenta. And then Ronaldo Damas with the fastest hat trick in 30 minutes at BMO Training Ground. And then Garrett McLaughlin with Toronto scoring 3 goals at Wake Met Soccer Park and then joining North Carolina FC. I hope you've been enjoying this content. We'll see you on the other side on ESPN+.
Sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way. Sometimes you feel alone, like your world is collapsing, like there's no hope. But you're not alone. Someone is there to listen, to talk, to help you up. The United Soccer League is proud to support the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline because everyone needs support.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
Lexington is the Kentuckiest place in the world. Just look at it. It's by far the bluegrassiest, the bourbonist. See? The artsiest, and hands down, the horsiest. Oh, look, that one has a baby. I don't know why you would look anywhere else. Looking for the coolest, most Kentuckiest getaway? Look at Lexington.
Let's take a look at some news and notes from around League One. Future Legends Complex, 30th venue to host the USL League One match. What a start the Hailstorm have got up to there. We'll get to that when we look at the scoreboard in a minute. All 12 teams in action next weekend. And your player of the week, Joao Gamiro. Here's a look at your team of the week, led by that man Gamiro. 3 Knoxville players on this one after their 2-1 win at Greenville last weekend, along with Alex Anderson, Luis Perez. What a season they're having so far for NCFC. Here is a look at your scoreboard. As we mentioned, Northern Colorado Hailstorm, you think they're feeling good about finally having a home to play 4-0 at halftime. 2 goals by Trevor Ammon. He's off to a scorching start here this season. Jackson Dietrich and Billy King with the others. As for in the other games, 2-0 in favor of the Independents. Omar Sis with one of those goals. Joel Johnson with the other. And no score yet between Tormenta and Richmond. Here's a look at your upcoming schedule. We mentioned all 6 teams in action next week. We'll get to those in a second. Omaha Madison starts at 8 p.m. In about 1 minute, they actually kick off. There are your 5 games for next week. You also have Madison hosting Fuego. So many tantalizing matchups here in USL League One every week. Well, stick with us. We'll be right back with halftime highlights from this one. Lexington with a 1-0 lead over Knoxville at the break.
Lexington is the Kentuckiest place in the world. Just look at it. It's by far the bluegrassiest, the bourbonist. See? The artsiest, and hands down, the horsiest. Oh, look, that one has a baby. I don't know why you would look anywhere else. Looking for the coolest, most Kentuckiest getaway? Look at Lexington.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or get up?
Perfect.
Who's not a runner now?
You don't have to be an elite athlete to be treated like one. UK Healthcare, Orthopedic Surgery, and Sports Medicine. The power of advanced medicine.
Halftime here in Georgetown, Kentucky. The home team with a 1-0 lead over Knoxville with a late first half goal by Nico Brown. Let's take a look at your first half highlights here. In this one, it was a tight, cagey affair early on. Knoxville had some chances in the first half, but didn't force a save from Amal Knight. Here's Callum Johnson well wide of Knight's far post. Lexington started to play their way back into this game, though. And looked more dangerous team. This was a lovely one, too. Jalen James with the first shot on target in the half. That one straight at Sean Lewis, though. This was an interesting one. Amal Knight looked like he had it covered. Comes off the top of the crossbar. Back in from Knoxville, hits Jake Keegan. Johnson, his shot's off the line, is cleared by Kalen Fox, and then Andreassen's shot blocked. That was one of the better chances for the visitors in the first 45 minutes. It would be the home team that would take the lead as we wound down. In the 43rd minute, it was Tate Robertson out here on the left. He'd be fed by Jalen James. Robertson with some time in the space. Thinks about going to the left, wants to go to the right. Delivers a beautiful ball to the far post. And there's Nico Brown arriving late. Beats Sean Lewis perhaps a little easily at his near post. But they all count the same, and Nico Brown is a dancing man in the Bluegrass State. Here are your halftime stats. 7 shots in favor of Knoxville, but you see they're none on target so far. Amal Knight, not a whole ton to do. Possession battle pretty tight, and the 1 yellow card for each team. 1 for Kalen Fox for the unsportsmanlike header back to his goalie, and the yellow for the early yellow for Yesin van der Pla. So we'll get going here soon in the second half from Georgetown, Kentucky. We'll see if either team decides to make any changes at the break as they emerge here from the locker room. There's Jimmy Villalobos. He had a pretty quiet first half. A couple of touches early, but didn't do a whole lot offensively after that. See if Mark McKeever makes any tweaks either to the lineup or tactically perhaps to try and spark his team here. I was a little concerned a few weeks ago with the lack of goal scoring from his team, as both these teams were struggling to hit the back of the net early. for Lexington. Charlie Machel, captain tonight. As we mentioned, left early last weekend with a head injury, but okay to go tonight. That's your goal scorer, Nico Brown, second on the season. Former Maryland Bobcats and Greenville Triumph man. Scored versus Tormenta last season. He only had 3 total goals for Greenville, so only 1 behind that now. To mention, show the scores elsewhere. Northern Colorado with a 4-0 lead at the break over the Fuego. Whatever the opposite of Fuego is how this first 10 games of the season or so have gone for Central Valley, unfortunately. Lexington with a win here would certainly separate themselves a little bit from Central Valley, who are currently 12th out of 12. Give them a 3-point cushion. Might put only 3 points out the playoffs as things stand tonight. Greenville not in action today. North Carolina, the other team, with a bye. And we're underway here as Pila Dlamini starts us off in the second half from Lexington here. The team with a 1-0 lead at the break. Andreasen wins the physical battle there with Machel, finds Johnson. Cesar Murillo with a no-nonsense tackle there. It will be a free kick for the visitors. Certainly shoulder to shoulder, but a little too much force in that one from Murillo. He didn't even turn around to complain. Tells you how he feels about that decision, but it probably was the correct one. So a free kick here for Knoxville. Be taken by Van der Plout. Lexington with a 2-man wall. We'll chip it to the far post. Looking for Chrysler. His header's down. And out of play for a goal kick. Tormenta and the kickers, 9 minutes left in the first half there, no goals. We're underway in Omaha, 9 minutes into that one. Union Omaha 0, more forward Madison 0 in that big Midwest battle. Madison with 5 draws on the season, Omaha with 6. Will somebody be able to break that trend that's been going on between those two teams? Johnson now with some space. Let's look at your scoring summary. Nico Brown with the only goal so far in this one, and here he is on the ball now. Beaten to that one by Jimmy Villalobos. Callum Johnson with the strike from distance. Big save by Amal Knight as he's called into action for the first time this evening. Lexington fans have seen strong arms from that man right there all season, and that was another one. It was well struck by Callum Johnson after the good work by Villalobos. That ball was fizzing. Amal Knight had to get a strong hand on it. Knock it out for a corner. Presented by UK Healthcare. Knoxville go to the far post. Van der Plout. First time crossed by Kelly. Is feet of Keegan, who manages to keep it in the first attempt, but earns himself a corner. Not sure which official had a better look at that one. Oh, bit of confusion. It will be a corner in the end. Another UK Healthcare corner kick. Second one of the half, and the third one of the night for the visitors. Callum Johnson with the right-footed outswinger. Looking for Chrysler, and Andreasen. Excuse me, Andreasen. Finds Andreasen's head, but he can't keep it on target. Chrysler was in the vicinity, as he should always be, with his height. Take another look at it here on the replay. It was a good delivery by Johnson. Perhaps Andreasen should have done a little better there. He really wasn't marked by anybody in particular. Had a clean shot at it with the head, but couldn't direct it on target. Good bright start to the half, though, by the visitors. Trying to play their way back into this one. Comes a bit of pressure now. Keegan up the middle. Kelly on the right. Amal Knight gives it away poorly. Chance now for Knoxville. Villalobos. Lays it back to Linos. Knoxville couldn't really take advantage of that poor pass by Amal Knight, and we'll reset here. Chrysler. Now it's Lexington putting the pressure on. Kim and Diouf. Lewis will clear it left-footed. Strong header there by Cameron Fox. Keegan and his teammate getting in the way of each other. He quickly taken free kick. It was Sean O'Hearn getting in the way of Jake Keegan a little bit. This ball goes out of play for a Lexington throw. Sam Stockley about the lack of goals for Lexington. He said they've been spending a lot of time on final third entries and training movement. He said they don't highlight it too much. It doesn't become a thorn in their side, but they're very methodical in how they do things at training, process driven, structured. That's probably going to be a yellow card. No. Lucky to get away with that one there. Zates Diouf goes down under the challenge of Angelo Kelly, who's made a habit of yellow cards this season. That stopped the transition chance, so lucky man, Mr. Kelly there. Let's take another look at that on the replay. I mean, challenge from behind on the transition chance. Normally a textbook yellow, but not this time by referee Berna. Mitchell drops it off to Murillo. Got a left-footed cross in, headed away. Once again, Knoxville players getting in each other's way. They maintain possession this time. Now a chance here for Callum Johnson. Andreasen into the center circle. He's fouled late by Diouf. And now we've got some nonsense off the ball. Van der Plaum, who's already got a yellow card. Referee doesn't want to deal with that. Instead, he's going to give the yellow to, I think it was Dlamini. And it's Diouf that's down. So Dlamini with the yellow. And then Diouf hit the ground. Let's take another look at it here. See if we can figure out what happened perhaps afterwards too. The clip by Dlamini, that was pretty obvious. And then Van der Plaum went to get the ball off Zates Diouf and knocked him to the ground. Or at least he went to ground. I'm not sure how he got there. If he had enough help. Keegan lets that one go out of play. It will be a goal kick. We have a goal in Omaha. Madison have taken a 1-0 lead in the first 15 minutes there. Knoxville going direct here, looking for Keegan. Fox is there with the header, as he very often is. H.L. now going backwards. Gets himself out of trouble. Brown under pressure here from Knoxville, looking for the turnover. Don't get it though, as Lexington just knock it down towards halfway. Keegan. Villalobos. He goes down under the challenge by Mitchell. Referee thinking about going to the pocket. And he will. Charlie Mitchell can't believe it. Machel's third yellow card of the season for the captain.
Yellow card.
See on the replay if it was worthy. Certainly a bit of a harsh call. Villalobos complaining perhaps that multiple fouls deserved the yellow. Machel not keeping his feelings to himself about that decision. Back into the box to play defense on this Sean O'Hearn free kick. That delivery is far too deep. And out for a goal kick. Asked Sam Stockley about the first quarter of his first League One season. He said, it's hard because we're in pro football and 3 points is really all that matters. This table doesn't lie, but the performances from this new group have been there. He said he loves the buy-in. The group always falls forwards. He said just some key decisions in key moments. And we've got them some more points, but they're perhaps 35 minutes from 3 more points here if they can hold on or at least extend their lead perhaps. A win for Knoxville in this one, if they can somehow come back, would secure them. Mild Knight wasn't taking any risks. The rare diving header from the goalkeeper. Perfectly executed by the Jamaican. Obviously wasn't quite sure if he was going to be able to handle it. The ball was curling away from his box. Three yellow cards now for Lexington. They came into this game with the second fewest yellows in League One with only 21. Madison the fewest with 14. Kevin Fox is going to perhaps try and shepherd this one out of play. No, you have to keep it in play with Andreasen breathing down his neck. And just cleared away. Knoxville now. A lovely bit of play from Jalen Crisler, former Richmond man. That's a lovely turn as well by Kelly. Angelo Kelly now. A chance to run. Finds Villalobos. Villalobos with the left-footed cross. Headed away by Fox, but only to the feet of Kelly. Kelly looking for options. Instead finds that as Juve. Now a chance for Lexington to break. Juve's pass. Well, it will be kept in by Tate Robertson. As they continue here, Jalen James. Jalen James still deflected and just wide. That one could have gone anywhere. Good work on the break by the home team. Jalen James earns himself a corner. Tons of space to James to run into, trying to turn Jordan Scantlin inside out. Linehouse was there to support. It out for a corner. This corner presented by UK Healthcare. Will be taken by Tate Robertson, a man out of Springfield, Ohio. And last season with Chattanooga FC. Nisa, ball's headed away. So Kim will track it down. Johnson now with Knoxville with a chance to break, and that's a lovely ball for Keegan. There's two Lexington players back. Jake Keegan now. Lays it off for Andreasen. Villalobos. Kelly. Knoxville still with possession here. Sean O'Hearn with a ton of space. His left-footed cross is deep and far too deep and disappointing. Can't watch the match. Turn on Sirius XM FC 157. North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access. Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern, plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League and more, all on Sirius XM, FC 157, and the SXM app. English Premier League coming to a close tomorrow, every game at 11:30 Eastern. We'll see some relegation things to be decided. Will Everton go down? Will Leeds go down? Leicester? We'll just have to wait and see. Nico Brown, the goal scorer so far. This one as we approach the hour mark. My name's Ross Davenport. Thanks for joining us here on ESPN Plus for this one. As that ball slid through looking for James, but just a little too much pace on it. Rolls all the way through. To Sean Lewis. Just the one save tonight for both goalkeepers. 10 shots for Knoxville, only 3 for Lexington. Obviously, one of those found the back of the net. Fourth shot on target for Lexington there. Great passing accuracy tonight. Both teams over 86% in that department. Here's Linehouse, the German. Back to Angelo Kelly. Former Charleston Battery, Pittsburgh Riverhounds man. See more and more players come into League One with tons of USL Championship experience. Still some USL interest in the US Open Cup. There's O'Hearn. Not quite as an exciting year as it was last year with some of the USL runs. In Omaha, Sac Republic, etc. Certainly had some cup sets this previous week, and now here come Lexington on the run. Jalen James, he's got Ates Diouf ahead of him. Decides to slow it down instead. It's not the first time tonight we've seen Lexington slow things down when they look like they've had a chance to play that final dagger of a ball. Mitchell. Nico Brown. You can see what he was trying to do for Owen Green, but Owen Green checked his run. That one will roll out for a goal kick. Tormentor have taken the lead against the Richmond Kickers. Nick Akoto with the goal right at the death at the end of that first half. Tormentor with a 1-0 lead, 1-0 home lead at the break. Omaha have equalized. Now 1-1, Shaft Brewer. Good goal for the home team there at Werner Park. Plenty of goals flying in today, just like it was last weekend. Andreasen now, stretching those long legs to get to that one. 1-1 against Fox. Andreasen can't find enough space to pull the shot off and tries to sort of chip it in to the path of Jake Keegan. But Amal Knight is there to clean up. Gives Jake Keegan a little head rub on the way out. Amal Knight started the opener and then missed some time as he was on international duty with Jamaica. Austin Causey did get a couple of starts, but didn't do quite enough to keep Amal Knight out of the net. So he's certainly got a firm grip on the #1 spot between the pipes at the moment for Lexington. Austin Causey, obviously a great young talent, learned plenty from Amal. Here in the home team are readying a trio of substitutions here as we get into the 64th minute here. Jalen James, he's had room to run here in the second half. Robertson. We're trying to clear their lines here, but not having an easy time of it. That's a poor giveaway there. Mitchell. Lexington so far with only 5 touches in the opposition's box. A telling stat. Knoxville with 19, but they haven't been able to do much with it. Those quality touches. Ari Green's going to get called for the tug back there. See if that gives us time for the substitutions. So coming into the game will be Pierre Mane, Tariq Mohammed, who we didn't think we'd see tonight. Sam Stockley said he was going to perhaps be held out for a couple of weeks with an ankle problem, as well as the big man, Khalid Balogun. Leaving will be Dlamini, Jalen James, and So-So Kim. So Sam Stockley wants to see a little more in the final third here. He's bringing on some big guns to try and do it. Mohammed is more of a left back. See where he slots in. Perhaps Tate Robinson pushes up into the midfield. So Kim makes way. It's a quiet night for him. Balogun with a couple of goals already this season. There is Tariq Mohammed. See if he manages to stay healthy here. As you can see, a couple of substitutes getting ready for Knoxville as well. We'll have to wait on those Knoxville subs. So you can see Balogun will go up top to pair with Atis Juve. As mentioned, we'll see exactly where Tariq Mohammed ends up. Looks like, yeah, he will go to left back, perhaps moving Robertson to right midfield, where he's been playing most of the season. So Sam Stockley looking to shake things up offensively here. Get that second goal, which we know is oh so critical in USL League One. Here's Kelly. Villalobos. Swings it wide for Linehouse. Good first touch. A decent cross by Linehouse. Andreassen's there. He misses it, but Jake Keegan doesn't. And it's 1-1. His 5th goal of the season. Jake Keegan ties things up here. Lovely ball by Villalobos. Linehouse with a good first touch. An early cross. Andreassen got the other side of Murillo. He didn't manage to get there, and they forgot about Jake Keegan. Just getting there a little quicker than Owen Green. And finishing for his 5th goal of the season, as we mentioned. And we're all tied up here. We approach the halfway point of this second half.
SC goal scored by number 7, Jake Keegan. In the 67th minute.
Khalid Balogun bowls over Sean O'Hearn, but give each other low five. You've always got to know where Jake Keegan is, and he's got that superb quick pace over a short burst. He'll beat defenders to the ball. Not much problem. That's exactly what he did there. It's getting a little spicy now. You can hear the crowd obviously a little annoyed at that goal. Jake Keegan now with 27 goals in League One play over his seasons here in the league. He's approaching 100 caps, that 2nd all time, behind you-know-who, Milano Terzaghi. Creeping up now, though. Terzaghi's got off to a relatively slow start this season. Keegan now with 5. 2 of those are penalties. He won't care. That one's not quite kept in by Linehouse. Here's Keegan, the goal scorer. Slips it through to Andreasen. He's got on the other side of, that's a good cross in, and Callum Johnson, all he could do was head it back. He was almost past the ball. That was the only option he had, but there was nobody there. This game's really picking up pace now. This goal's started to open things up, as that's going to be a foul on Kelly. The USL is committed to caring for the mental health of our players, fans, and communities. The Need Support campaign includes a partnership with the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, a free confidential support line for anyone having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health crisis. Need support? Call or text 988. Villalobos. Some room to run. Andreasen out wide again. That's another good ball in, Jake Keegan. It could easily have been 2-1. Knoxville looking like far the more dangerous team after those substitutions, which were supposed to give Lexington a bit of offensive spark, but instead it's Greenville. That one is skied over by the veteran. Wait to think on some Knoxville substitutions here at the 70-minute mark. Charlotte have taken a 3-0 lead over Chattanooga. Trezor Mbuyu with the third. For Mike Jeffrey's men.
Substitution for Lexington SC, number 10, Don Smart. Replaces Charlie Mitchell.
As you hear on the PA system there, veteran Don Smart into the game, replacing Charlie Mitchell. Smart on the ball now. League One veteran, played for Madison as well as Greenville. Got a couple of goals on the season himself, 2 penalties. Only the one start this season for Don Smart. 35-year-old. Also played in the USL Championship for Indy 11, Miami FC 2, as well as Fresno FC. Take the captain's armband off Mitchell as well. So just under 20 minutes remaining in this one. Ross Davenport with you. Goal by Nico Brown, cancelled out by a Jake Keegan strike here in the second half. Juve. Kelly gets back and sticks a toe in there for the turnover. And Maria with the good step. Crisler, right place at the right time. Only 2 shots on target for each team. Lexington, other than that Nico Brown goal, just unable get much going in that final third. I mentioned only 5 touches in the opposition box. Might get another one here though if Tariq Mohammed can deliver this one nicely. Mohammed, the man out of Toronto, 23 years old, goes back post over everybody. Balagoon is in the vicinity. Well, if he didn't keep it in for a corner, it certainly went out for a throw. Jalen Crisler upset it. Official on that far side. It will be a throw-in. Crisler claiming it went out. And here we go with some substitutions for Knoxville. It will be Sam Fletcher and Matthew Vowinkle.
One Knoxville SC, number 21, Matthew Vowinkle.
Sam Fletcher, he was part of the USL League Two team last season. Played in the heart of that midfield out of Phoenix, Arizona. Played his college ball at UC Santa Barbara. Van der Ploum coming out. So Mark McKeever, some blood here perhaps. Putting on a couple of offensive options. Winkle played for League Two with the Long Island Rough Riders. He was a very solid goal scorer at Hofstra. 42 goals for them. A couple of starts coming into tonight. 24-year-old, 1 assist on the year for Winkle. Sam Fletcher, meanwhile, this is only his second League One appearance of the season. He came off the bench last weekend for 3 minutes against Greenville. Here comes Robertson on the right now. It's a good claim by Sean Lewis. Had to make a quick decision and come for that one. He did so. Robertson back to his right midfield spot now. It's a good ball in. Sean Lewis was already well off his line. Ready for that claim. Still had to make a clean catch of it though. Turnover, right back to Knoxville. "15 minutes remaining in this one. Lexington 1, Knoxville 1. A draw here would certainly give Knoxville a big advantage in the race for that battle and Bourbon. It would mean Lexington would have to win the third match between these two sides. The game will come in August, Friday, August 18th. It will be in Knoxville. It's a Friday night. Drink some of that bourbon and not have to worry about getting up for church in the morning. Whoever the winners are. Don Smart. Goal scorer, Nico Brown. Knoxville with 3 times as many shots as Lexington this one, 12-4. Lexington just quite happy here to knock it around. Be patient, waiting for that chance to unlock this Knoxville back line. Pressure by Keegan, forcing Fox backwards to Murillo. That's a sloppy ball there from Pierre Mane. Man from Senegal. Had some visa issues earlier this season. Now off the bench in the last 3 games. Horses at the horse farms around Lexington. SC just need a little bit of a late run here, need a late burst from the middle of the pack, perhaps to try and win this one. Foul here for Lexington. Don Smart coming off the bench. This is his 100th appearance in League One. Leaves him 7th in the all-time list. Next newest member of the Triple Digits Club. Congrats to Don. There's some room out wide here. Nico Brown looking to take on Linehouse, and he beats him. Finds Juve. Good work back by Callum Johnson. They're back to the feet of Nico Brown. Can he make it a brace? Instead he chips it in. Headed away by Skelton. Winkle. Fletcher. Nice little interplay there between the substitutes. Maybe a Lexington throw. Much to the delight of the fans there on the far side. Another quality crowd here in Georgetown. It's the home of Georgetown College, NAIA school. Knoxville also playing on a college campus this year at Regal Stadium, home of the Lady Vols, the University of Tennessee. 4 League One stadiums on college campuses now, Greenville as well as Central Valley Fuego. So all these teams surely working eventually to get their own stadium. Lexington will get their new one off Athens Road. 6,000 plus seats, looking for the 2024 is the opening year for that. Knoxville looking for a downtown stadium in Old City. Those of you familiar with Knoxville, the Smoky Stadium used to be downtown Knoxville, moved out to Kodak, now looking to get back downtown and really get that side of the Knoxville downtown going again. It's a great minor league city. Knoxville. Down goes Kelly. Challenge from Balogun. Game's ground to a bit of a halt here after that flurry of action 10 or 15 minutes ago. Sean O'Hearn. I don't know if the hand on the head is a signal, perhaps. And with the delivery, not deep enough. Kelly will try and nod it back in. But a head tennis here. Down goes another player. Kelly now, a chance to do something, perhaps Callum Johnson. Oh, lovely work by him with the right foot, deflected. Knoxville maintain possession. Villalobos and Kelly. It was awkward from Villalobos, but offside anyway on Matthew Vowinkle. So we'll have a couple of more subs here for Knoxville. Just the one sub, I take that back. Hinga Selemani will come on for Callum Johnson. Selemani, the 27-year-old from Canada. He's played some places around the world as this man. Greece, Czech Republic, New Zealand, Gibraltar, Alberta, Canada, Malta. And now finding himself in Knoxville, Tennessee. The USA U17, he's come off the bench in all but one game this season. So Selemani, a chance to run those fresh legs off a little bit. Let's try and find a late game winner here in the Whiskey War. Be a game winner that would give Knoxville that barrel and bourbon. Work by Callum Fox. Green sips the head looking for Balogun. It's great defensive work there though by Jordan Skelton. Used the body superbly and earns his team a goal kick. Some Lexington fans. Short sleeves out tonight. High 60s in Georgetown. Great to see the support. I love the hill at the back there. I love the hills in Knoxville too, on the smaller hills on the far side. Berman, Omaha as well. It's going to be a foul as Kelly goes down. Knoxville players are very upset at that challenge from Don Smart. Referee Byrne is going to at least have a word with the veteran from Jamaica. Angelo Kelly in some pain. Grabbing that right foot. Here's another look at it. Kelly brings the ball down. It wasn't Smart with the tackle, it was Juve, excuse me. The high foot. Certainly could have been a yellow card at minimum. Looks like he's going to get away with it, though. Some interesting non-card calls tonight by Mr. Burner. Gave 7 cards last weekend in the Charlotte NCFC derby. Up to 4 tonight, 3 for Lexington. Fox, Machel, and Delamini in the book. Obviously 2 of those guys off the pitch now. Vanderplum, the only one for Knoxville, he's off the pitch as well. $15 minutes to go in Windsor, Colorado, and Oko still holding on to that 4-0 lead over Fuego. See if I can get some stats from that one in a second here. Oko with 15 shots, 6 of them on target. Fuego with 9 shots of their own, 4 on target. This one may edge up being a corner. Murillo claiming it was already out. He's not going to win that decision. It will be a corner for Knoxville. Salamani to take it. Left-footed. Front post delivery. Chrysler was there. Couldn't quite get enough of his head on it to direct it goalward. Now a chance for Lexington to break. That's great work by Kelly. He's played well tonight, has Angelo Kelly. He's been around the ball a ton. That was lovely defensive work to deny the transition opportunity. Jalen Chrysler was hanging around in the final third. Lays it off for Salamani. Going to take people on. Double team now. Lays it off for Chrysler, who's in an unfamiliar position out on the wing. He'll now jog back to his center back spot. Villalobos. Salamani now. He's got the right side of. That's good work by Knight to keep that one out. That could well have ended up in the back of the net, but Keegan's still there, deflected. Now Knight will claim it. He hasn't had a ton of work to do tonight, Amal Knight. He's made a couple of big saves. I'm not sure this one will go down as a save. Might have been finding the inside of that far post. He wasn't going to wait to find out. And the shot blocked by, by Kalen Fox. The attempt by Jake Keegan, looking for his second goal of the night. It's the final 4 minutes of the 90 here from Georgetown. Let's look at your scorers. It was Nico Brown opening things in the 43rd minute. And then Jake Keegan midway through the second half here would tie things up. His 5th goal of the season. That could be a foul against Knoxville. Jake Keegan now tied. There's one behind Rafa Menzigan. Trevor Amon is now the leading goal scorer in League One. He had 2 tonight to jump himself into his top place with 7 as the Richmond Kickers have equalized. Justin Suko in the 57th minute for Richmond, so 1-1 there in Tormenta. Omaha Madison 1-1 at the half. So Trevor Amon, your new leading goal scorer in League One. A penalty and then a goal right at the death at the end of the first half. The Hailstorm, the 4-0 up over Fuego in their first ever match at Legends Complex. Is a foul on Balagoon here. Good battle between him and Chrysler. Yeah, he just hooked him, pulled him down. It was an easy call for referee Berna. Balagoon is a big physical presence. Touch and take down there by Vowing. Salamani trying to get through traffic, and he goes down, perhaps a little easily for the liking of the Lexington players and fans. But now a chance for Knoxville with a very dangerous set piece here. Salamani he was always looking for that one. He was never going to get to the ball. Owen Green stunned by the decision. Salamani knew what he was doing though and has earned the free kick. Salamani with the left foot. Or Sam Fletcher with the right. It will be Salamani to deliver, and it's a good delivery. Chrysler is there, headed away. Nico Brown will look to relieve the pressure. Inside to Mohammed. If that ball had got through to Tate Robertson, could have been on goal. This game opening up here with some tired legs. Jake Keegan kicks it off his former Greenville teammate, Don Smart. It's his hand. Not sure how much Don Smart knew what to do with it. And there's a look. Some of the scruffs making the trip up from Knoxville. Norwegian flag there, as well as the crest flag. Great to see away fans making trips in USL League One. Down to the final 40 seconds of the 90 here. We'll let you know any potential stoppage time coming. Kelly. This one goes back to O'Hearn. Plays it off to Keegan. Right foot crosses a decent one, and a big punch by Knight at the far post. He goes down. It was Vowinkle with the challenge. If Knight hadn't got a hand on that, Vowinkle would have had an excellent goal scoring opportunity. Here's another look at it here. Lovely cross by Jake Keegan. Teasing. Knight had to commit to it, and he did. Caught Vowinkle on the face with the elbow.
Ladies and
Knight's
gentlemen,
on his feet.
the officials on the field have added 3 minutes of extra time.
We'll have 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this second half.
3 minutes of extra time.
Can either of these teams find a late winner? And another foul. Selemani is just making a complete nuisance of himself on the left, on the right. They just don't know how to deal with him at the moment. He's earned another free kick. This one perhaps a little more legitimate than the last. Another chance for Knoxville to find a late winner. And with it, the barrel and bourbon. Selemani to take. Down goes Jalen Crisler. Him and Balagoon is going to be a fun battle here. If you want to look at one battle here on this free kick, keep an eye on Crisler and Balagoon. 2 6'4" boys battling it out. They're running away from referee Berner. He's going to have to stop play here. It's Jalen Crisler. Yeah, referee Berner is going to have a little sidebar here with these two. It's going to add certainly a little more time on the end of this one, perhaps another 30 seconds or so. Scantlin in there, Crisler, the big bodies to aim for Selemani. Here it comes, and he did have the audacity to go for it. But it was no threat to Amal Knight's goal. Now, Lexington, can they produce one last chance here? The crowd's trying to G him up. Robinson gets an extra 10 yards on the throw. Knocks it in towards Diouf. Balagoon's there, trying to bring it down. Balagoon with a turn and the shot, but it's right at Sean Lewis. That's what he can do, Balagoon. He's such a big body. Hold that ball up with his back to goal. Turn and strike. That's exactly what he did there. Luckily for Sean Lewis, it was right at him. 20 seconds remaining here. 3 minutes of stoppage time. The referee again could add some more though to that nonsense at the free kick. Keegan. And the 3 minutes are now up. Selemani has been a revelation since coming on. That's going to be a foul. Down goes Nico Brown, and that may well do it here. From Kentucky, we'll see how much extra time Berner gives here at the end of stoppage. Lexington might have one more chance here if they can get the ball downfield. Green knocks it ahead, flicked ahead. Balagoon now. Balagoon chips ahead for Diouf, but it's cleared away by Skelton. Crisler. Now a chance for Knoxville, perhaps. Kelly with the quick throw. Ball's chipped in. Headed away. And that will do it, as referee Servando Berna ends this one. And these two teams will share the spoils at the end of 90 minutes as Mark McKeever and Sam Stockley congratulate each other on the point. We finished 1-1 here. Nico Brown with the goal at the end of the first half for Lexington, but it would be Jake Keegan who would tie things up with his 5th goal of the season midway through the second half. The spoils here will be shared as Knoxville will take the advantage going into the final leg of this Whiskey War. We now have 4 points to Lexington's 1 in this little battle, as the former Greenville teammates have a chat. Don Smart as well as Nico Brown, the 3 former Greenville guys, having a good post-game chat. Well, stick around. We'll be right back after this break with full-time highlights and stats from this one. Your final score, Lexington SC 1, One Knoxville SC 1. Stick around, we'll be right back.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or get up?
Perfect.
Who's not a runner now?
We're gonna take
You don't have to be an elite athlete to be treated like one. UK Healthcare, Orthopedic Surgery, and Sports Medicine. The power of advanced medicine.
Welcome back to Toyota Stadium in Georgetown, Kentucky, where we have a 1-1 draw at the end of 90 minutes here. Lexington 1, Knoxville 1. Let's take a look at how we got there. Those two are your goal scorers, Nico Brown, as well as Jake Keegan, who would open the scoring just before halftime. Jalen James would find Tate Robertson moving up from his fullback spot tonight. Little fake in the shimmy and the right-footed cross. What a beautiful one it was. Nico Brown arriving late at the far post, and his header beats Sean Lewis at his near post. And that would give the home team the lead. But Knoxville would come out firing in the second half. It would be Jake Keegan who would tie things up. Jimmy Villalobos here. This was a shot from Callan Johnson that was a great save from Amal Knight. He had a couple of solid stops in this one. Lexington here looking to try and make it 2. As this Jalen James deflected shot goes wide of Sean Lewis's goal. But in the 66th minute, it would be Jake Keegan to tie things up. Villalobos involved again. He would spread it wide to Jan-Erik Leinhos. His cross would be missed by Andreasen, but there's Jake Keegan to clean things up at the edge of the 6-yard box as he beats Owen Green to that ball and hooks it home easily into the back of Amal Knight's net. Knoxville would have a couple of late chances, mostly sparked by this man, Mahingo Selemani. This was the half-late chance by Balagoon. Great control on the shot from 15 yards out, but it was right at Sean Lewis. And that would be the last opportunity for Lexington to try and pull this one out at home. 15 shots to 4 in favor of Lexington as they continue to struggle in the final third. Only 7 touches inside the opponent's box, something for Sam Stockley to certainly work on in training this week. Well, the battle for the barrel and the bourbon will go to the third and final game, as this one finishes 1-1 between Knoxville and Lexington. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for everybody behind the scenes for making it happen as always. You can check out the late game tonight. Omaha Madison at halftime there, 1-1. Tormenta and Richmond still with 18 minutes to go there. You can turn around and watch the end of those two. But for this one, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you next time. Have a good evening.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.